All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus show. It is that time of the week to whip out those measuring sticks. We're going to go position by position and tail the tape. See who comes out on top, the Bucs or the Minnesota Vikings, one by one.
It's that time of the week for this, and it's that time of the month for me.
Well, that is extremely graphic, and I bet everybody appreciates that very, very much. I'm going to give a little spoiler here. The Bucs are pretty damn loaded. That's all I'm going to say. There might be 7-5, but position-wise, this might be a little ugly for Vikings fans.
Yeah, last week we had almost a complete clean sweep by the Vikings. And this week it could be just a spoiler. I'm not sure yet, but it could be that way for the Bucs. But perhaps the Vikings can pull a Jacksonville Jaguars and defy the odds and push this team into overtime. But this time, get the victory.
Boy, that's a stretch. All right, let's do this. Let's hop into the quarterback position. Obviously, Tom Brady versus Kirk Cousins. We don't need to bring up backups. There's no point. Sean Mannion, Blaine Gabbert, who gives a shit?
Obviously, you got arguably the greatest quarterback of all time going against Kirk Cousins. Definitely got to go with the Bucs on this one, though. I do want to point out, if you're looking at recent weeks, there could be a case made for Kirk Cousins here, because Tom Brady, he's been giving away interceptions quite frequently lately, and Kirk Cousins has played pretty damn well since the Vikings came off their bye, but you got to go with the greatest quarterback of all time.
He has Tom Brady, 28 touchdowns, 11 picks, still a passer rating over 95 at the ripe old age of about 55 years old. So Tom Brady will be an issue, but yes, the Bucs get this one. Let's head back into their backfield. Again, they got a pretty good set of running backs with Mr. Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones, who is, I think it's fair to say, is having a pretty breakout season, averaging over 5 yards a carry, will definitely break 1,000 yards this year.
Would you rather have a Packy 89 upper deck that had, let's say, I don't know, a Kirby Puckett, maybe a George Bell, and a Sean Dunston, or would you rather have one that had a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card in it?
Well, that's very clear, but I mean, George Bell, that's the best you could come up with. I mean, both the Nolan Ryan card where he's throwing the football. It's classic.
I didn't want it to be that good. All right. That's what I'm saying. 3 decent cards against one stud. You're taking that stud every single time. Delvin Cook is the stud. He is who you go with here. No doubt in my mind.
Yep. Pretty simple. All right. Before we hop on the offensive line, let's head over to the wide receivers, where this looks like somebody just made this in Madden. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, newcomer Antonio Brown, even Scotty Miller rounding out that depth chart, and former Minnesota Gopher Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, the Bucs have an embarrassment of riches here at this position. It's not even close. I mean, the Vikings do have Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, a couple of beautiful options there. But you could argue that the Bucs have better top end talent and are deeper. So the Bucs get this one. And it's not that close.
Yeah, they just have it all. I mean, Mike Evans, a big body receiver. Then they got Godwin, Antonio Brown, the game breakers, and then Scotty Miller rounding it out. So yeah, they are just absolutely stacked. And Tom Brady's gonna have fun with these guys on Sunday, I think.
Yeah, it should be gross. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. Let's go to tight end. The Bucs did lose O.J. Howard to the IR. But they still have the Gronk and who's the other tight end? Cameron
Brate. Here's one thing I do want to point out. When O.J. Howard was drafted, I told my son, I said, the Bucs just got themselves a Hall of Fame tight end.
Well, your son thinks you are an idiot.
Well, here's the thing, too. Irv Smith is kind of having a similar career to O.J. Howard. Neither one's reaching their potential so far. That being said, I'm going to give this to the Bucs just because they're 3 deep. I think they're 3 deep is a little bit better than the Vikings 3 deep, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, I'm not putting this one really close at all. Gronk is being Gronk. He might not be the Gronk of old, but even an old Gronk is still damn good. Cameron Brate, very solid. So yeah, I got this one. I got them wiping the floor with us here. Offensive line for the Bucs, pretty damn good group as well. Donovan Smith on the left side. On the right side, they got Tristan Wirfs, the Stallion tackle, Ali Marpet, Alex Kappa, at guard and Ryan Jensen in the middle.
Got a lot of guys we wanted on this offensive line, just when you rattle off those names. Yeah, here's, this is a landslide in favor of the Bucs. We kind of, I don't know if you were on as much as I was. I kind of talked myself into thinking the Vikings O-line last couple of weeks, actually before, was better than they've shown recently. They're pretty much back to the third unit they were early in the season. This group has been struggling to open up holes for Dalvin Cook and protect Kirk Cousins. So right now I'm going to go back to our old thing and pretty much take any other offensive line to the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, and we do have Ezra Cleveland back. Hopefully will help. But even, this Bucs line would beat a lot of teams. Wirfs is having a hell of a rookie season over on the right side. Donovan Smith, I think, is a little above average. Marpet, we know, is good. Cap is good. Their weak link is Jensen in the middle, and he's not even that bad. So the Bucs have a very good offensive line, and they should be giving Tom Brady tons of time on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So offensively, I think it's fair to say, aside from running back, the Bucs whooped our ass.
They did. It hurts.
Whooped that thing.
Singles. They're way longer than us.
Defensive line, starting with the defensive line. We know the Bucs run defense is number 1 in the league. And when we start rattling off some of these names, it'll become clear why. Their secondary, not great, but let's start at defensive line. Their big injury, Vita Vea, who is out, who is one of the best defensive tackles in the league. So even with him being out, they're pretty damn stacked. So they got Ndamukong Suh, Steve McLennan, and William Golston.
Yeah. The Vikings run defense is horrible. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Jaleel Johnson has just been a bust. Shamar Stephen, I don't know. He was good in 2017. That's been about it. Who knows who's going to be our defensive ends this week? I don't know if DJ Waddle is back or not, but this definitely goes to the Bucs. Again, not really even much to talk about here.
No, and this is without their best guy. So that just shows where the Vikings are at. And they do have Raheem Ranches Nunez, which I probably butchered, but he's pretty good too. And Jeremiah Ledbetter, who I don't care about, but I just wanted to say his name because I love Jeremiah Ledbetter.
That's one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs.
Oh, God. That
you're Eddie Vedder for a second.
All right. Well, here we're getting to the best part of this Tampa Bay defense, and that is their linebackers. Again, kind of like their wide receivers, it's not really that fair. Jason Pierre-Paul, Devin White, second-year guy, and Levante David, and Shaq Barrett. Yikes.
Yeah, I know Jason Pierre-Paul's missing some fingers, but he could be missing an arm, and he'd still be way better than Troy Dye. This goes
8.5 sacks this year.
Yeah, this goes to the Bucs. It's like they're almost as stacked at linebacker as they're at wide receiver. It's really not even fair. And the Vikings this is probably one of the few linebackers groups that would actually beat the Vikings, but they do because they're just so damn good.
Yeah, Shaq Barrett, the guy is so good. And Devin White, he can get up, and he's a pass rusher. From our Schooling with the Enemy yesterday with Mr. Taylor Jenkins, he made it very clear, though, that Devin White can be easily had in the pass game. He is not good in the pass game. So hopefully they target that. And Levante David, we know, has been one of the best linebackers in the league for the last, 5-6 years?
Yeah, wasn't that Grizz? Wasn't he from the Peter Report, did you say?
Peter Report. So linebackers, I would be, I think it'd be tough to find a better linebacking core in the entire NFL than these guys. And we get a front row seat to them on Sunday. So secondary, here's where maybe the Vikings, even where they're at, might get a sniff, maybe not. Let's pull that up. They got Carlton Davis. I believe he was from Auburn a couple of years ago. Antoine Whitfield Jr.
Oh,
the love that we lost. He's there, and he's had a pretty damn good year. Jordan Whitehead and Sean Murphy Bunting. Other than that, they got Jamal Dean, Russ Cockrell, a guy that for some reason I want every year in free agency. But that is their secondary.
Yeah. Harrison Smith, Anthony Harris. This is close. I'm going to give this one to the Vikings. Just I like the way Cam Dancer played last week. I like the way Jeff Gladney's been playing all year. Harrison Smith's been playing out of his mind. And we actually did see a little bit from Anthony Harris last week. So as good as the Bucs secondary is and has been, and how much I love Antoine Winfield Jr., how much I wanted him, I'm going to give this one to the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm I'm giving it to the Bucs. I just think they're more well-rounded. They might not have that superstar yet. Winfield will be that superstar, but they just got a lot more depth. They started off pretty damn good this year. Their secondary has kind of turned to marginally crap over the last couple of weeks. So hopefully Kirk Cousins can take advantage of that. But Carlton Davis is pretty good. Murphy Bunting, decent, but Winfield, just love him so much. So I'm going Bucs. Going Bucs. Clean wipe on that defense. Something that you did not have this morning.
I'm gonna say, when was the last time you had one of those?
It's been years. All right. Well, I know the Vikings special teams. Well, we all know the special teams for the Vikings is crap, but let's do this anyways. As far as return men, they got Jaden Minkins, who I think they just released, didn't they?
They got him back. I think I don't know if he's active roster or practice squad, but he is back.
Well, he's been their guy, but now it appears it'll be Kenyan. Is it Kenyan Barnard?
Yeah, I think so.
So that is a return guy. Ryan Suckup has had a good year. He's 22 at 24. Had a good leg on him. And Bradley Pinion is their punter. And if I'm butchering his name, I don't care because he is a punter.
No, they got a good kicker, good punter, way better return game than the Vikings, who are actually dead last in that department. So, yes, I am taking any special teams unit over the Minnesota Vikings. No doubt about it. Kenyan Barnard, I'm surprised the Vikings didn't make a play on that Jalen Mickens. He's actually done pretty well. Clearly don't really have a solution there. I don't know whether
catch the ball.
He can catch the ball.
Well, then he would have been an upgrade right there.
Yeah, I was very, very surprised the Vikings didn't put a claim on him, but yeah, this goes to the Bucs. It's easy.
All right, so looking up and down, the Vikings come out on top at running back, and for Lupagus, they came out on top in the secondary, which is a mystery that will never be solved. So the Bucs killed us. We'll see what happens. They are 7-5. It seems like they got very, very good players, but at times they cannot put it all together.
Yeah, and we'll get more on that tonight with our pregame vid, which I'm looking very forward to. Very excited about that. Until then, here's something you guys can think about. Strawberries, that delicious, delicious fruit, is actually a member of the rose family.